I'd like to ask you about another issue, campaign finance, and the recent dispute between the Supreme Court Justice, Chief Justice John Roberts, and the White House. At this year's State of the Union, President Obama openly criticized the court's decision in the Citizens United case.
With all due deference to separation of powers, last week the Supreme Court reversed a century of law that I believe will open the floodgates for special interests, including foreign corporations, to spend without limit in our elections. I don't think American elections should be bankrolled by America's most powerful interests, or worse, by foreign entities. They should be decided by the American people. And I'd urge Democrats and Republicans to pass a bill that helps correct some of these problems.
And earlier this week, Chief Justice John Roberts told law students in Alabama that he found the timing of the president's comments to be very troubling.
The image of having the members of one branch of government standing up, literally surrounding the Supreme Court, cheering and hollering, while the court, according to the requirements of protocol, has to sit there expressionless, I think is very troubling. And it does cause you to think whether or not it makes sense for us to be there. To the extent the State of the Union has degenerated into a political pep rally, I'm not sure why we're there.
That was Chief Justice Roberts. Representative Kucinich, your response to both the president's statements and to Chief Justice Roberts' concerns.
Well, the Citizens United case was very controversial. The fact of the matter is that it gave corporations even more power to influence our political process, and this is one of the central problems in our democracy today. And, you know, the Supreme Court is the third branch of government. They should be at these grand pageants of democracy, which State of the Union addresses represent, and I don't think they should fear being there. I think that they should welcome an opportunity, and it's good for them to get feedback. I mean, it's important to come off a pinnacle once in a while and just be with everyone else who's affected by the decisions that you make. So I think that the Chief Justice, with all respect, ought to lighten up a little bit and just realize that his presence there is very important, and if something's said that is somehow opposed to a decision that's made, it shouldn't bother him at all, because frankly he has the last word unless Congress passes a constitutional amendment or the process starts in the state to amend the Constitution to correct the Supreme Court's decision. The Supreme Court has a lot of power. When you have that kind of power, you surely should not be disturbed by criticism. Matter of fact, that criticism could prove to be enlightening in future decisions. But we can't pretend that there's no influence from the broader culture on these questions.
Congressman Kucinich, I wanted to ask you about the passing of one of the country's leading activists on campaign finance reform, Granny D. Haddock, who died on Tuesday at her home in Dublin, New Hampshire, at 100 years old. At her centennial birthday celebration on January 28th, she said of the Citizens United ruling, quote, "I guess the Supreme Court has burned down our little house, but truth be told, it was pretty drafty anyway. We had not really solved the problem of too much money in politics, not hardly. And now we have an opportunity to start clean and build a system of reforms that really will do the trick." Congressmember Kucinich, your thoughts on Granny D as we wrap up?
Oh, what a sweetheart Granny D was. I had a chance to get to know her in my travels both to New Hampshire and as she walked across the country. What an amazing woman who lived her life with great passion and commitment to the highest principles of our country. Her commitment to seeing real campaign finance reform has really been a central part of a movement that tells us we have to change the way we finance elections in order to reclaim our government. She understood that, and she proved and sent a message to everyone that no matter what your age happens to be, you can continue to make a real and a powerful contribution, and so her memory will long live on for those of us who really know that campaign finance reform is central to reclaiming our government.
Congressman Kucinich, I want to thank you very much for being with us.